One of the most common questions we get here at Alamo Music Center is, what is the best keyboard or digital piano under $500, or under $1,000, or under $1,500? Well, today we're going to take a look at keyboards and digital pianos within each one of those price ranges and show you what you kind of may want to expect and what not to expect, and the differences between each one of the products and the price ranges. Stick around. Hi, this is Ted with Alamo Music Center in beautiful downtown San Antonio, Texas.
And I'm Patrick Marr. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We really appreciate the support, and we'd love to interact with you guys. Well, Ted, this is a more general topic. I know we were discussing this at the beginning, but it's interesting because a lot of people come in focused on a certain price point.
They do, and specifically when you said these price ranges, the first thing I thought of is there's a long line of product, 500 and under, 1,000 and under, 1,500 and under, and it's hard to all three of those ranges because you get a certain amount of sound and features on a keyboard. You don't really get too much. That at the top end of the range, you do start to get digital pianos. In the middle range, they start to look like a piano or a spinet. And in the top end, well, they go back to stage pianos, or you could get it to look like more like a piano.
Yeah, they get a little more specialized once you get to the way more expensive price ranges. It's interesting because a lot of the times people lead into this conversation as, well, the money is directly going to correspond with what I'm getting as far as value. And that's, it's one of those questions I think parents, first-time buyers, first-time beginners, students, they just want to make the right decision.
Right.
And so in their eyes, it's all about, I have this amount of money. What's the right decision to pick in this product category? We wanted to kind of approach this video a little bit differently and not kind of list off, these are our top 5 in this price range, or these are our top 10,
right,
which is valuable, and we will still continue to make that content. But what are generally the differences in these product categories? 500, for example, is our first category. What's the feature set? What is the real best bang for my buck under $500 when it comes to the feature set I should be looking for?
What I always say is there's two things. When you're looking at a certain price range, there's two things. And a lot of it depends upon the need or the age of the individual. So I don't want to assume that it's always parents looking to buy for little kids. Sometimes they're so little they're not even at the point of sitting down for like lengthy music lessons. So in that instance, I try to draw a line between this is a keyboard which is designed to do as much as it possibly can to musically entertain and to educate. And then this is a keyboard that's like a piano for a more stricter education of, this is more like following the rules, so to speak, okay?
And I think to just throw some products out there to that narrative is, it's Yamaha. It has the PSR E series, the PSR, and it looks like it's very rich with features because it has all the sounds and stuff, and it really is to just draw somebody in, get their attention,
absolutely,
have some music in the house, versus something like the P45 from Yamaha, which is more of,
and it's in that same price range. And yeah, the P45 is more for like a serious beginner piano student.
Yeah, 88 keys versus
weighted action, consistent action. The basic idea of put on headphones. It's got the metronome. It's got a couple of different sounds in it. But the most important thing is that it plays and sounds like a piano. And that for under $500, I mean.
Yeah. No, and so I really like that because it is kind of framing your mindset of what is the purpose of this, and answering that question first and approaching this feature set under $500. What is the purpose of what you're trying to buy? Is it to entertain? Is it to try something out until maybe they don't like it and they'll get into sport? There's I just hear this a lot, and in my head I have a very specific narrative going on right now. But kind of figuring out, because as a gift for my niece, 2 years old, got her a little PSR E273, which is,
great keyboard.
And it makes, animal noises. It makes, it has piano sounds on it, obviously, but really it's kind of when I do this, something triggers back. And to me, it's to encourage, creativity through music.
The important thing too is that PSR series goes through this entire cycle, are these 3 price ranges that you picked out. So manufacturer specific, the PSR has a 500 and under, 1,000 and under, and even a 1,500 and under. And they actually have a pro model of the PSR, which is a phenomenal 16-track recorder. It's like the closest thing to a portable CVP.
And so like I said, there is usually a feature set in mind, and what is the purpose of the instrument. But in this $500 category, I really think there are some great options, especially if you're looking to kind of progress playing, get someone involved in lessons, get someone having something in front of them that's not going to, quote unquote, break the bank.
And remember too that a lot of the returning adults that we have that, I played when I was younger, and now after college and I have a job and I'm settled in, and I don't want to spend a lot of money. I just want to get something to go back into learning how to replay the piano. We have a lot of P45 sales that target just for that.
And so
based on the enthusiasm of the returning player, they're going to come back and get something bigger and better down the line.
So P45 is in this category. The Casio CDP S150 is in this category. There's the Alesis Recital Pro. There's options here, but really the main thing you're getting if you are looking to get back in playing is you want to look for 88 keys, weighted and some form or capacity, unless, of course, you're looking for a lot of sounds and a lot of activity, and then you might want to look at something that's a little bit more like an arranger or a workstation in that low price point. Things you want to avoid, unless you kind of know what you're looking for. Some people will buy a MIDI controller and think, oh, I'm ready to practice piano. So beware of MIDI controllers in this price range. They're not usually going to have any sound on them. They're going to be to plug in and be a controller on a computer. And so if that's something you're looking for, there is stuff in this price range for that, but that's kind of not what this video is really designed for. So that's kind of the $500 price range. As you move up, if you stretch that to $1,000 more generally, what are the feature sets? More features starting to get poured in here at this price point.
The ones that come to mind initially for me is there's the DGX series that Yamaha has. They've got one that sits right in between $500 and $1,000.
Yeah, it's like $800, $799.
And it is like I guess you could say it's a PSR type featured keyboard. But it's full 88 keys, it's weighted action, and when I say PSR features, it has, the voice, the tempo, and then the music data.
And the song. You can play along to different...
into those three concepts, which is the same thing, but it's on a bigger scale. It comes with a stand, and that's part of it. It's a great playing, sounding. It's got a whole bunch of different sounds in it. I think over 600-700 sounds. And it also has the other thing you notice when you go up from one range to the next is that you start getting more ports in the back. And so in this range, you should at least receive a USB port, sometimes a MIDI in-out or through type connector, or USB to MIDI. And the ability sometimes to run more than just one pedal also. Shows up in this kind of price range.
And so you start seeing things like a built-in stand. I think of like the YDP series from Yamaha or the KDP series from Kawai. Built more as a package for the consumer. Still a little light on the features as far as the YDP and the KDP, but has like a built-in stand, has 3 pedals, has a bench, and it has a great little sound system. It's not gonna blow you away. It's not a huge 40
it's moving
watts.
into the home piano model type thing.
And so you can expect on some of these, close to maybe about 20 watts of power as far as filling a room. It should be completely fine. But this is it's starting to, if you want it to look a little bit more like something like a Spin-It or something in your house, this product category kind of experiments in that range. The lower end YDPs and KDPs again are going to kind of scratch that itch of piano looking keyboard.
Right, and at the same time serve their purpose of being a digital piano, like an acoustic piano, great playing standard for a student model. Not anything phenomenal. And you think of all those student model guitars that we sell, and how many manufacturers have almost the exact same kind of guitar around in the same price range. So those kind of things, the student model standard is great for a returning player, a beginning player. And again, almost all of them have a headphone jack.
Yeah, they're all going to have headphone jacks, and they're all going to have usually some sort of port connectivity out of the back, like you were touching on. So you do get a little bit more feature-rich here, a little bit better samples a lot of the times. So the Yamaha jumps up to a P125 if you're still looking at portable. Kawai has an ES110, which a lot of people rave on the action. It's a little bit better than that entry-level price point. The FP30X is also in that price range. So you just, you get, and that one actually has Bluetooth, and that's, I think, one of the only ones in this product category that has Bluetooth audio, which is very cool. But you start getting a little bit more into the meat of these manufacturers' lines, and they're really trying to get you to learn and grow with them, so that when you make a bigger purchase in the future, that you kind of stick with the product set, the layout. Like you were harping on the DGX, there's a mic input. There's
a lot of little things in there.
And so it kind of gets you trained in the Yamaha mindset, or the ES110 kind of gets you trained in the Kawai, and Roland kind of trains you. And so they really, in this category, I think, try to offer a lot as much as they can, because they know if they get you here and you really like the product, in the future you'll be looking to spend more with them, because you'll really love it. And they're great.
Right.
A lot of times for gigs, people will buy in this price point. Usually lightweight, under 30 pounds, and you can just pick it up, take it to the gig. Has reference monitors, has the port connectivity.
Great sounds, fun to play, does its job. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, so
they're just great. They're great keyboards. The other thing I want to mention is that as you go from one price point to the next on just the acoustic piano or the grand piano sound alone, you do start to get a little bit more of the tightening and precision of the player response and instrument response. Mm-hmm. As you spend a little bit more, it starts getting more precise.
Yeah, exactly.
Both in the action, the weight, and the response, and all those kind of things, as well as the dynamics.
And so I think that kind of takes us to the final category, the $1,500. So. And this is, I would call it the $1,500 plus, because there are a whole bunch of options out there.
This is the good luck to the buyer, because there's so much out there, and it's all good stuff.
And I know that's the hardest part. So it's like every time there's something released, it's like I could fit this into my needs here. And so in this category, it gets very interesting, because you're approaching the digital piano line. Usually, I think people classify about $2,000 as the digital piano line. So you're really getting close to that price point, which is, of course, like the Yamaha Clavinovas or the Kawai CA or CN series. Roland has their HP series. Really strong product offerings from all the manufacturers here. But in recent years, it's kind of been the battle for that $1,500 to $2,000 like portable. We have one behind us. This one it kind of stretches that budget, but the FP90X, we've done a video on the Roland FP90X, a fully modeled keyboard. Just kind of, there's something special about every I say product offering in this price point, whether you're looking at the P515 from Yamaha, the ES920 from Kawai, the FP90 from Roland. You're just getting their best portable.
It's kind of, what's interesting to me is when you compare all the different manufacturers, it's almost like no one is competing against anyone. They're all just making their own best offering. And it's like, wow, this is what these guys give you that, and these guys don't. These guys find, and so you start seeing what's important to certain manufacturers, but there is just tons of product to pick from. If you only focused on digital pianos, it would take you a long time to go through and be able to demo all of them.
Yeah.
If you're focusing on those combination keyboards where you get a multitude of sounds, again, there's a lot of, it depends on what the use is, the end use.
So in this category, we see the continuation of Yamaha's YDP and the KDP from Kawai, a little bit more robust feature set. Again, you can kind of stick with that in-home digital look. But really, I think what shines in this category are these, the wood keys on the P515, the sound samples on from the Bosendorfer and the Yamaha CFX there. On the Kawai, it's going to be the action is I think most would agree unparalleled as far as a great feeling action. Of course, you get the Shigeru SKEX sound with FP90X and the FP60X. You just get an incredibly robust sound where the sampling on the 60 and then the modeling on the 90 is just kind of it's the most that we've seen in technology as far as what a sample and a model can do.
Right.
And then you get, of course, just a better feel, more response, more versatility, I would say. So you can go in and adjust the little small nuances. Okay, I want the action to be harder, I want it to be softer, I want to add a little bit more resonance to the room, a little bit more reverb depth. All these start really shining here in this product category, and you can get confused really quickly because there's things like stage pianos that get introduced, and there's things that are a little bit more focused on a specific use, doing it very well. So if you're looking for an organ, looking at Nord and Korg, there's some great product offerings. Right. And so just knowing what you're looking for, I think, comes back into play here a little bit more. And I think you can get tunnel vision on a feature set here, and kind of find the best that money can buy.
There's pro gear in this in this range. You get pro gear, which is gigging and recording kind of stuff, and then there's also, you can enhance, like you said, the home digital appearance and aesthetic of the keyboard, so it almost looks like a spinet or a small piano.
And these I would say these instruments are great because you get the upgraded pedal, you get you do get a bigger sound system on all of them, or no speakers on some of the stage pianos. They realize that all you need is port connectivity, and they're trying to keep it lightweight, so they don't put a speaker set in there. But yes, bigger speakers, if you're getting like 40 watts of power, I mean, it just really kind of becomes a very dynamic sound feel, and really, I would think, be the most beneficial thing for a beginning student, because you really kind of play dynamically with this instrument, and it's the closest thing to like an acoustic action or acoustic feel that I can think of. But yeah, so that's kind of what this video was about. Categories of $500, $1,000, and $1,500. It can be very confusing to pick the right one, know where to start. I know a lot of people are like, well, our budget depends on what the product offering is, and where is the best bang for my buck. Hopefully this helped clarify a little bit of the feature sets, what you should be looking for. There are great product offerings throughout any price point, of course, and hopefully you guys, see that there's value in every one of these categories. We're going to say that because of all the product offerings that manufacturers are making these days, there's really a great product for everybody at every price point. Yeah, and so it's a lot of fun. Just know what the questions you're asking are. Know that, hey, is this to get someone introduced to music? Is this to get someone practicing? Is this someone who already plays and is getting an upgrade? Is this, how long do I want this instrument to last? These are all very important questions to kind of come to the table with, and when you're discussing your budget, think of, well, how long is this going to be with me, and what am I willing to spend for the next 5-10 years? So hope you guys learned something today. I hope this helped you guys with your journey in finding the right instrument. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you had experience shopping through these product categories and ultimately deciding in one of them and saying, I think the best value is in right around the $1,000 price point, please let people know, leave a comment, let them know your experience, what you've played, what you've heard, what your teacher has said maybe, if you are a teacher, what you think. Just all of this is very insightful for people who are shopping and looking for their first instrument, and we want to be as helpful as possible, and hopefully get people started on music, which is the ultimate goal.
That's the whole idea.
Thank you guys for watching. This is Ted Barslew. I'm Patrick Marr, and we're with Alamo Music Center. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. Thank you for watching.